Hello, my name's Katie Nairn and I am part of the South of Scotland Enterprise Pathways team, and today I'm going to speak to you about the practical basics of starting a business before you even spend £1. When people start a business, the temptation is to rush straight into fancy logos, websites and social media pages, maybe even a VA to help you and somebody to work on your ads. But the truth is that none of that matters if you haven't got the foundations right. Starting a business is a bit like eating an elephant. You don't have to eat it whole, you just need to take one bite at a time. So today, I'm going to walk you through the practical basics that you should get clear on before you spend any serious money. Number 1, start with the problem, not the product. Most founders begin by talking about their product or service. Nobody cares about your product or service. What they care about is how it makes them feel, how it improves their life, and what it can do for them. For example, nobody buys a fitness program because they love burpees. They buy it because they want confidence, energy, and to feel better in their clothes. So before anything else, ask yourself, I help, who is your ideal client, solve, what is the problem that you solve, by what method? For example, I help small businesses to understand their finances by simplifying bookkeeping, or I help busy parents to save time by delivering healthy meals for their children. That clarity becomes the foundation of everything else you build. So you need to hone in on what your offer is, work out exactly who you help, what the exact problem is you solve, and how you do it. And once you have clarity on that, it's time to move on to step 2. Know your customers properly. Once you know the problem that you solve, the next step is to understand who you solve it for, who your ideal customer is. And that's not just a demographic. You want to really understand them inside and out. Ask yourself, where do they spend their time? What language do they use to describe the problem? What frustrates them? What results are they actually hoping for? And where do they hang out online? And what difference you can make to their life? If you know your customer well enough, you'll start to notice the words they use, the questions they ask, and the places that they gather. This insight will shape everything from your business name to your marketing. Once you understand the way that your customers relate to the problems that they're experiencing, it's time to move on to the next step. Step 3, choose a name that makes sense. Now you know how your customers speak, the language they use, and how they think about their problems. Use that to help you choose a name. Make a short list of several names and check them out with friends and family. Is the name already in use? Is the website domain available? Are the social media handles available too? It's not as simple as just looking at the .co.uk or the .com, but really check out the social media handles. Sometimes other companies have a similar name and they may have already taken the social media handles that you would want. Make sure that there hasn't been a company with that name that has gone out of business and perhaps doesn't have the best reviews. Also check for companies that perhaps have been registered in the past but actually have now gone out of business, because that's not a great look for you starting out. Number 4, register the basics properly. So this is the practical side of things. You need to decide if you're going to be a limited company or a sole trader, a social enterprise or a community interest company, and get yourself registered with HMRC. Now it's time to look at your social handles and ensure that you have them secured the way that you want them set out to represent your business. It's also time now to open a business bank account, which is something that really should be done early on. None of this is particularly glamorous, but it ensures that you start legally and professional and you have the basics in place. That brings us on to step 5. Separate yourself from the business. Although you absolutely are the face of the business, people are buying you and they're buying into your personal brand. The business that's behind that is a completely separate entity, and it's very important to track your entire spend and make sure that you're recording it properly. This means a separate bank account, clear financial records, and tracking what the business spends and earns, because you will be able to take that initial investment back out of the business before you're taxed on it. There are lots of free and low-cost business bank accounts available, and many of them come with free accounting tools that will help you with making tax digital. Even if you're nowhere near the threshold yet, building good habits early saves time later. Number 6, track every penny and your time. Once you're up and running, you'll have ongoing costs like software, insurance, and equipment. In the early days, people invest their own money to get their businesses up and running, but what they don't realise is that if they haven't recorded it in the business, they won't be able to take that money back before they pay tax on it. so your future self will thank you for recording every penny that you spend right at the beginning so that you can recoup it further down the line. But don't just track your money, track your time too, and ask yourself regularly, is what I'm doing today helping me find customers or to improve my solution? If the answer is no, it's probably just a distraction. Step 7 is to use free tools first. There are hundreds available that you can use for free. Canva, ChatGPT, Claude, Notebook LM, all your social channels and your analytics that you can get lots of valuable data from. It's very tempting to upgrade right at the beginning and chase those shiny new objects, but actually every £10 and £20 adds up quickly, and before you know it, you're spending hundreds of pounds a month on software that you simply don't need. Finally, we come to point number 8. Don't chase perfect. Progress beats perfection every single time, and it's another trap that we find founders fall into very early on. It's very easy to think that you want the all singing, all dancing, perfect brand at the beginning, but actually your business will evolve as you start and as you grow. So launch, learn, grow, and you can hone things in at a later date as and when you get a better idea of what it is you're offering. Let's recap. Start with the problem, not the product. Make sure you know your ideal customer inside and out. Choose a great name that's going to resonate with them. Register the basics of your business properly and separate yourself as a person from the entity of the business. Track every penny that you invest. Use free tools before paying for upgraded subscriptions. And progress beats perfection every single time. So in closing, starting a business doesn't have to mean spending thousands of pounds straight away. Most early businesses don't fail because the idea is bad. They fail because money gets spent before the idea is properly tested. If you focus on the basics first, solving your problem, understanding your customer, setting the foundations properly, keeping your costs low, and focusing on what actually moves the business forward, you will build a much stronger foundation. And remember, you don't have to eat the elephant whole. Just take the next bite. Good luck.